Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. I have a special guest coming in, and I know a lot of you won't be able to tune in at this time. You're at work, but it will be here when you get off. And I have a part two coming Friday. Due to this being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I feel like this interview was very much important and it's very helpful. And I advise right now that this will possibly be a trigger warning. So if you're very sensitive to certain kind of things being put out or things that may bother you or bother your spirit and you're very sensitive towards those things, this right now is a warning. And also, if you feel like this resonates with you or someone else, good morning, Josephine. Good morning, Sunshine. How are you? Good morning, Betty. Morning, beautiful. How are you ladies today? It's good to have you all in here. We're going to have a good interview today. You guys are going to like it. Can you guys make sure you hit the likes so it can get in a I can't even get it out. So this video can be shared to possibly help someone else. Cuz this is very important that we bring awareness to these type of situations. And I know a lot of times this happen and it's not just for men. I mean women. It happens to a lot of men. And we don't speak on that a lot, and with this LaTruth situation that a lot of us been following, we've seen that the signs was there for him. He was a DV victim, and I don't care what anyone says. So, some stories definitely need to be shared, but today it's going to be a beautiful female. I'm just waiting on my special guest to get herself situated and stuff. She'll be here shortly. Yeah, that's right, Betty. So how's everyone doing this morning so far? Everyone doing good? Give me a few minutes, you guys. I'm just waiting on for her to come in. But you might want to sit down somewhere, take some time out so you can listen to this. It's gonna definitely be deep, and if anyone that has possibly went through this or trying to figure out how to get out of it, this would be great for you to share. A lot of people that get in these situations, they don't know how to get out. And sometimes you just got to go and think about what's next later. Whether it's to a friend house, if you in the living room somewhere for a little while, or you at a shelter, a homeless shelter, you got to do what you got to do. So I have my special guest here, the lovely, beautiful Miss Miranda. How are you today, sweetheart?
Hey, lady, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. You got your water?
I do. You know, I'm long winded. I just climbed up these stairs, so
Okay.
they kind of tired.
I know. I was just stumbling over my words with everyone. I told them it was, you know, trigger warning for some people that are sensitive due to certain things that are going to be spoke about.
Yeah, it's definitely sensitive. So I would suggest if anybody, if it triggers anybody, just take 5 minutes, work through your emotions, your feelings. You got to process these things and come back
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to keep coming up. We're all going to keep, we just need to learn how to deal with our triggers. That's it. Because they're going to come up. Life is lifing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me know whenever you're ready. And we'll get started. We have a few people in here. We don't have that many at this time, but like I said earlier, some people are probably at work and they'll watch it when they get off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I am going to start by asking you. I'm not going to ask you your age, but how long were you married?
um, I was married, I think. Oh, I cut out early, so it was like 6 months.
Okay. How long were you with him?
Like a year.
Okay. So you were with him for a year and then you guys got married for 6 months.
Yeah.
When when did you notice the first red flag that you kind of brushed under the rug, but you kind of put to the back of your mind a little bit? You overlooked it, but you was like, hmm.
A first red flag. Um, when he didn't want me to leave his house. It was showing like really possessive and controlling. And because I work a lot, so when I did spend time with him, he never wanted me to leave, which it kind of was a red flag because that's how men are with me anyway. So it really wasn't like no huge red flag. I just knew it was like, it was kind of normal to me because this is how men are with me.
Okay, so you felt like it somewhat was a little bit controlling, but then again, you like, okay, I'm used to guys feeling this way about me. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
okay. So
yeah,
that's what made you kind of put it to the back, like, okay, this normal.
yeah. And I know when I first met him, we argued the first initial conversation. So it was like it
What?
started.
It was a
It's
debate or it was a full blown argument?
it no, it was like an exchange of numbers. Like
Okay. So what
uh
happened with that first argument? If you don't mind
um
me asking, and how early on was that?
that was like in our first initial meeting.
Okay, so your first time meeting them, you guys kind of got into this little heated exchange.
Yeah, and it was
Okay.
over my phone number because I don't give my phone number out. So I'm always like meeting, like when I meet men outside, I don't like talk to them. I just, you know, pass the conversation.
Yeah,
And
you
but I
want.
don't be giving my phone number out. And he was talking to me, we having a conversation, and he never asked me my name.
Oh,
So he was like, "What's your phone number?" I'm like, "You never asked me my name." So he pulled out two different phones. I'm like, "Oh, you got the text me now numbers and stuff like that." I'm like, "I don't do the text me now." And he was like, "This ain't text me now." So we was going up back and forth over if it was a text me now number and his work phone, which is crazy. So
yeah.
it's again the phone stuff, the phone situation.
And it's things that we don't notice in the beginning, or we don't pay attention to, or we pacify it. And
Yeah,
then now, as we get a chance to collect ourselves and we think back over those little bitty minor things, details, we like, oh my gosh, right here was my exit, you know, right here was my sign. And unfortunately, we overlook those things because we want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
Okay, so after that heated exchange, what was
Actually, my nephew and my brother was right there, and they was like, "No, don't talk to him," because like the men in my family are like super masculine and they like overprotective.
mm-hmm.
And they told me they was like, "Stop talking to him before we, have to do something to him." But I thought it was, like we arguing over my phone number, so I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
But it turned
Oh,
out not to be so cute.
dang.
So it was like a whole bunch of red flags in the first initial meeting that I proceeded again. I kept going.
So you had the men in your family that, which is good, what I would suggest for anybody that's going on a first date, and that was very smart of you, bring somebody around you. Somebody safe, whether they sitting across the table from you. If you meeting somebody online or you just meeting somebody that's random from the store, bring someone with you. And you can even have them come in and chime in on the conversation. Hey, her brother done picked up on this. So they saw it right away. And sometimes us as women, we not able to see what men can see.
Yeah.
And she thought it was cute. And a lot of us think certain things is cute. If we're gonna be real.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the first initial exchange between you two, the first date with the phone situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
What happened?
actually stayed next door to my mom, and my mom is legally blind. So when she wandered to his door instead of going to her door, he took her back to her house. So that like right there, because he could have did anything to my mom and not made sure she got back home.
Yeah, you could have.
And that right there, because I love my mom, I take care of her. And
Hmm.
he was always looking out for my mom as being her neighbor and stuff like that. So that like opened up the doors for me to even consider talking to him.
Yeah, I can understand that too. He came off as though he had a gentle, caring heart.
Yeah.
Especially you being close to your mom and him staying next door. He could have tried to rob her or do something else to her. And he
Yeah.
just would bring her back.
Yeah.
So I could understand why you possibly ignored those other signs. I mean, her neighbor is doing right by her and he doesn't know her or he does not owe her anything. He didn't even know you yet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what were the good signs when you swept those under the rug? Okay. Because we have to, we pointed out one bad sign. So, we have to say, what is the good sign that you thought overshadowed that one thing? You get what I'm saying? It was your mom, and then between you two, did he come off caring, loving? Did he come off too loving?
Well,
Was he
he's very attractive. He was like
red flag
I was
side?
yeah, I was very attracted to him because I have a certain type,
Right.
and they pretty much look like my father, which is tall and dark. I don't even like light skin. So
Okay.
it's not anything against them, but
No,
I like
everybody
what
had
I
a
like
preference.
and ain't nobody gonna change it.
Right. Okay.
And he was playing football and I like football and all this type of stuff. So it was like, and then my friends who I know closely, who I went to school with, he was cool with them. So it was like, it was so many, it was few red flags, but a lot of green flags. You
Oh,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like people that really know
A
me,
lot of people vouch for him.
yeah,
Mm.
they literally vouched for me to him, which made him apply pressure even more.
Dang.
I know.
No, but I get what they spoke highly of you. So it made him, in a sense, feel like he had to bring his A game.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So you guys the relationship, I don't want to say took off kind of fast, but you guys obviously spent a lot of time with each other. And, y'all love at not first sight, but it transpired into love quickly, and you guys got married. So, what was there anything else between that time that initially stood out to you as a red flag, or that was just that one main thing in the beginning before you got married? Because I have to ask these things just for the people out there that are either in this situation or they need to look for these type of signs before they wind up dating someone and they're overlooking certain things. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. The I can say this: when I went home, he talked to me all while I was on the phone all the way home. It was a little ways drive, and like all the way to like in the morning till I like fell asleep or whatever. And
Hmm.
in that first initial conversation, he confided in me on his relationship with his mother, which was a huge red flag.
Mm.
Red flag, how they feel about their mother.
It's how
Red
initially
flag.
how they will treat you, especially if a man has mother issues.
Man, do not go past go. No, you gotta stop right there.
Okay, so he strongly disliked his mom in a hateful manner or disrespectful, or he was
No,
not raised by her, so he had resentment.
it was more so um what she showed him, what she put in front of him, and it really traumatized him as a child. And it goes back to the parent alienation. This is how I know about all that stuff, like, which is uh what Brianna is doing, Miss Lionia is doing right now. And that's
Hmm.
how I'm saying, like, it affects the children because he's messed up behind it. For the simple fact, um, he said when his mom cheated on his dad,
Hmm.
she took him with him.
What? As an alibi?
She took
As
him
an
as a little
alibi.
boy with
Hmm.
her to go cheat on his dad.
Wow.
And I didn't. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, I'm thinking like from a woman's standpoint. I'm like, then he went back and told his dad, like, hey, mom took me over this man house, da 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 da. You know, and I said, well, you know, if your mom took you, you know, she wanted you to go back and tell your dad. You know that, right?
Yep.
And I have this thing where I be telling people what they need to know, and I don't know that they need to know that stuff. I be thinking they know it already, you know?
Right. Yep. You're just trying to, just like, you feel like you're reassuring him these things. Like, you already know she wanted you to tell your dad. But
Yeah,
in reality, maybe he still was that little child in that moment that wasn't ready to hear that because he possibly didn't go to therapy yet.
he didn't. He
So,
cried. He cried like a baby.
so he still was traumatized behind that. So that one major experience
Yes,
changed his mind completely, and it impacted the man that he is today and how he viewed women.
absolutely. That has everything to do with what he put me through, how he treat women, and what happened to what his mother did to him as a child, and how his parents handled the divorce.
Wow.
It's it has everything to do with it, and it's sad. It's really, really sad.
Hmm. And people, like you said, just from like on your experience and dealing with her situation, you can ruin a child at
She
those
messing her kids
vulnerable
up. She
stages.
messing them up, especially her sons.
How to love and treat a woman, how they supposed to protect and nurture a woman, not
Yeah,
emasculate a man,
yeah,
and their daughters, how she's supposed to, what she's supposed to look for in a man, and how
yeah,
she's supposed to heal when being in a long-term relationship and walking away from that, and how
yeah.
you're supposed to walk away with dignity and class.
Absolutely.
So all these are signs that he unfortunately did not have instilled in him, and he did not heal from. He was traumatized as a young boy, and that led to you now being with this man who is broken, who looks good on the outside. And
Yep.
that to anyone that's looking at him, you'll say, oh, he's fine, he has it going on. But deep down inside, all of that is hidden. And like you
Yep.
said, he cried like a little baby because that's that little boy that wasn't healed.
That was still broken. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so that's the first sign, and he talked to you all the way home, and you thinking, "Oh, that's so cute and sweet."
Yeah. I didn't notice that he was actually trauma bonding me at that moment. Like when somebody is telling you all these things that they've been through, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're having empathy and like sympathize with them. They're actually trauma bonding with you at that moment, because you gotta, and they looking for somebody, to help them move forward from that. But if they
Mm-hmm.
can't move past it, they messed up. They
Mm.
messed up.
And that's allowing you, you're right there, that's trauma bonding you, as well as having you put your guard down, because now you're feeling bad for him. You're
Yeah.
feeling like you're a fixer. Maybe I could possibly fix him. He's just hurting. That was so messed up what his mama did. And in the back of your mind, you probably thinking like maybe his dad used to do some messed up stuff. And that's why his mom did this to him.
Yeah.
Who would take
Oh
their
yeah, he
child.
did. He did. They both did.
Okay, so they was those
They put him in the
immature
middle of this
parents.
nasty divorce. They was using him as a weapon against each other. It was really sad. Everything that he told me is really sad. I never do my children like that, ever. Even if I don't like the other parent, I would never, ever
Absolutely.
use my children as a pawn to hurt the other parent, because you messing the children up. He's
Hmm.
messed up.
Absolutely. And now that all of that happened, him being traumatized, him trying to trauma bond you, this is the man that you're married to. And so now you're thinking you're a fixer, and these things are something minor you can, possibly deal with. Okay. Unfortunately, he went through this with his mom and his dad. He's a good person. He's genuine and he's caring. So
Yeah,
I'm
he'll
going
give you
to,
the shirt off his back. He'll do anything to help people. Yeah.
okay. So,
He's a worker. He had his own crib, so he wasn't lazy, and he definitely matched my work ethic. And I never met no man who matches my work ethic or work harder than me. So he was
wow.
like the first one.
Okay.
So
So it was a lot of
he had a lot of,
positive things too.
yeah.
Okay. So that's why the relationship kind of took place. It seemed like pretty, steady and at a fast, rapid pace, because you guys were smitten with one another.
Yeah.
You guys had a lot of great things and qualities about each other that you liked and in common as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think, thinking back now, do you think it was too soon with the marriage and everything, or you don't think that it was too soon? It just was his issues that kind of made everything roll downhill, or you think he rushed the situation based off of his insecurities?
I've been asked this because everybody like, you move too fast, you move too fast, y'all
I'll
move too
never say that.
fast.
Nope. It's
Everybody like says that, and they be judging when they say like, oh, you did it too fast. But I'm gonna
no,
tell
it's
you like
different
this:
situations.
I'm a very spiritual person, and I pray all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
I ask God to, hey, give me a sign of this what I'm supposed to be doing, and it was like green light, green light, green light, because he's a praying man, all that,
Wow.
So it was something that I had to do. And I understand now why I had to do it.
Right. Okay. That's understandable. And like I was just getting ready to say, I don't think, to me, love is different for everyone. I don't think it has no time limit on it if it's right. You
Timing
know,
is an illusion anyway.
right. So to say that to you, like you said, you had the green flags as well. So I'm not gonna sit up and say that. And had it not been for his issues as a child that stemmed into his adult years, your marriage seemed like, from what it sounds like, it would have been pretty okay.
Yeah, I was supposed to when they say a man finds a wife, he find a good thing. He was supposed to do his healing work.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where it comes in that we have free will. You can either do the healing work and have a blessed, abundance, prosperity life, or either you can not do the healing work and you can stay stuck and in your sadness and feeling sorry for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on him to do the work. I
Right.
did my work because I left him. If I
Yeah.
wouldn't have never left him because I said I was getting married one time, and I think he took advantage of that, like how many times you go, I'm like, this is my first marriage, and that's what I'm just gonna do one. So I think as time went on, like he took advantage of that, like, and then he knew like my background history with abuse, far as with my parents, his parents, and then I have siblings who's dealt with it. So he also put that on me, like, and I've been judged like that a quite few times by men. They always judge you by who else is around you and what they going through. Like if she's accepting this guy, her guy doing this and doing that, then she got to be like that too.
Yeah.
And it's not like that with me. I'm totally different.
Right. And I
And
agree
that's why
about
I
that.
want men to stop judging women like that.
Mm-hmm. And some women just feel like they are fixers, or
Yeah.
they don't know how to get out, you
Well,
know.
we're natural nurturers.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes naturally, and men know that. So
Right.
they'll use it to their advantage.
Take advantage of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll take very advantage of it. You just gotta be strong enough to like, hey, you're not gonna play with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been my mind frame. I don't care who it is.
You're a very smart, strong woman, you ask me. And this is my question. So when you guys got married, was everything okay after that? How long after you got married? So everything was all good leading up into the wedding? Or was there anything major that pointed out before this wedding that made you want to question it? Good morning, Darlene. How you doing, sweetheart? Welcome into the
I can
chat.
tell you the day we got engaged, um, I can't, what was going on? What was going on? I really can't remember. He used to always buy me flowers and stuff like that, teddy bears, all that, like sweet and kind and stuff. I like little stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
like, um, I can't remember what was going on. We was at his house and some came up. He was like always worried about my phone. Like, why don't your phone ring when you're around me? And like paranoid and stuff like that. And I'm
Wow.
like, yeah, I'm like, because I don't talk to nobody. Like, and I kept explaining this type of things to him. And
So he
so
already thought this is the deal. When some guys think you are out of their league, they'll think you too good to be true. So,
I
yep, you was
I've
getting
been
there,
getting
huh?
that my whole life, and I mean, like, no, stop saying that. I'm just a regular woman.
No, you're not. And a lot of men feel like, nah, she just can't like me. She here with me right now, but she gonna be with somebody else tomorrow. Or
I'm
what if
so
somebody
tired of
else
you.
might win her? Always in the back of their mind, they always thinking somebody else is better than them. So that's
Wow.
when they insecurities there. He thinks someone's gonna swoop in, even though you have his heart, you have his last name, you're married to him, and you took these vows. Always in the back of his mind, that little insecure boy that was with his mother, that was
Mm.
married to his dad as well, did the unthinkable in her marriage. So in the back of his mind, he's thinking, what make the next woman won't do it in her marriage, right?
Yeah. I didn't know like people still carry that type of stuff with them until I went through it. Cause I don't like let stuff bother me. I don't stay in my feelings too long. Cause I can't be sad, mad, and depressed and keep thinking about something over and over and over and
Yep.
stressing myself out. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna cry it out and keep it moving.
Yep. So my thing is, okay, now we'll fast forward to when you were around. He always would wonder why your phone wasn't ringing. So that wasn't too much anything major. You just thought it was like the normal, typical guys around you. They own little insecurities.
Exactly. I'm
Okay.
like, I didn't think anything of it. I just used to be explaining all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, I really like him. So, because usually I don't even say all this stuff.
You don't waste
And
your time.
I don't.
You
Like
just keep it.
I'm constantly going over the same thing over and over and over with you, constantly reassuring you because everybody need reassurance. I know this,
Right.
but I'm not gonna keep telling you the same thing over and over and over. And I think I got like a smart mouth because I do have like smart remarks.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like hauled off and backhand me like out of nowhere.
So
I'm
this was
like,
your first
this is the first.
marital argument.
This was argument.
Okay.
This was the day we got engaged.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had black eyes on the engagement day.
Oh.
I
Okay.
I just he just like punched me like I was
A man.
yeah, yeah. So both of my eyes instantly
Wow.
swole up, nose was fractured, bleeding, all that. So
So
I'm
you
like, I'm
so
I'm crying. I can't even believe like I'm like,
so
what?
after he proposed to you, you guys kind of went back and forth about the phone situation, and the second you accepted it is the second he want to show his tail, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm. And then
I,
you took it, you wrote it off like, well, I've been told a lot. I have a smart mouth. Maybe it was just me getting smart. Like that's
yeah.
something I need to work on because a lot of people say I always have a smart mouth,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. And that's what a lot of women in domestic violence situations, they write it off as though it's always me. If I could do
Yeah.
something better, if I could do this, or maybe I should have warmed his food right when he came in the house, or maybe I said that smart, or I know he likes this on that day. It's never gonna be right. Right, Miranda? Nothing is
Yeah.
ever gonna change that.
It ain't gonna never change. It's
Okay.
it's it's really ironic. It's so insane. And my mom was next door, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "You want to call your mom and tell her that we engaged?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll call her." So I called my mom and I told her. She was like, "Come over here." I'm like, "Nah, because I couldn't go because my eyes and stuff."
Yeah.
So she was like, "Today the same day that your daddy." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." So I'm thinking like this another sign, like what's really going on? Because my father is passed on and he used to be abusive to my mom. So I'm like, what's really going
Wow.
on? Yeah, it circled back around and came to me. And my mom, she stayed with my dad. He was horrible, but you know, it is what it is.
Right. Okay, so after that, you guys started planning for the wedding. Was there of um this domestic violence in between you planning for the wedding?
Yeah. When I would go to work, try to go to work, he
Oh,
again we was on a I was trying to leave his house, trying to go to work. Uh he didn't want to do it. He didn't want me to go to work. He wanted me to stay home. He said he wanted to take care of me, which he had the means to take care of me. But it wasn't in a sense of a loving husband take care of me while I stay home, take
look
care
after
of the
the
children.
house.
It
Yeah,
was the controlling type, you know.
yeah. Just wanted you to stay in the house and He paid the bills. He didn't want you to go anywhere or be around anyone.
Yeah. On the way to my job, again, he hauled off. He's driving, I'm in the passenger seat. He hauled off. He said, boom, he backhands me. So now my nose crack. I hear my nose crack and my eyes instantly swell up again. So I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm like, I'm crying. And I'm thinking to myself, I know this. I know I ain't get myself into this.
Right.
I know doggone well I didn't. So I can't go to work with bloody eyes and bloody nose. It was all over my uniform, all that.
Yeah. So now you stuck staying home, basically, like he wanted you to.
Yeah, so we had to turn back around. You go in the Walgreens and get some paper towels, clean me up. That's what he did. He clean me up, put the witch hazel towel on my eyes, heat it up in a microwave. He did all that. Messed me up and then doctor up on me.
So you was all kind of confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he did it, but he didn't mean to, and now he's trying to fix what he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the things that happened shortly before the wedding, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So how many times did these things occur before the wedding?
Oh man. It was at least 3, 4 fights.
Okay. And
He's
how
causing
long?
me to lose jobs, all that. But I'm such uh a good worker and people like me. I even got him a job working up where I was working at, and he went and sabotaged the interview. And next
What?
thing I know, they fired me. Now I was like, don't say this, don't say that. And I really believe he went in there and said the same. And went in there and said something different. So I was losing uh so much money,
Yeah.
losing jobs from all this domestic violence. I couldn't make it, had to keep calling off and stuff like that.
So
It
not
was
only
rough.
he was sabotaging his situation because you trying to get him in where you're at so he can be more secure,
Yeah.
but you like don't speak on us right now. Certain things, people have problems with certain things at work. You don't want to come in there saying, well, my girl work in this department. You kind of got to be chill with certain situations so at least you get in.
Yeah.
He went in the interviews telling all the business, and not
Yeah.
only he didn't get the job, but you was let go of as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll fast forward now. We'll say these are the things that happened before the wedding. Now, fast forward, it's the wedding day. How long after, when you all were married, did the next initial interaction or red flag pop up? And I don't want to even keep saying red flag, but I
It
guess
was
we'll
it
use
was
that.
a whole bunch of them. Um,
How long after the wedding? Sorry.
um, it got worse after getting married, and we got married on because I'm a spontaneous person,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want no big fancy wedding. I'm not the type of woman. So it was like courthouse. Let's
Okay.
go to the courthouse.
Okay.
So it was his day off, my day off, and we just chilling. He like let's go get married because we had already applied for the license and all that. We just had to show up. So I'm like, all right. So we just put on matching clothes and we went down there and got married.
Aw.
Uh it was really, really, really nice. So he couldn't work through his stuff, what he had going on. And it's best to know like when you see those red flags and the abuse start, it'll never stop. It gets worse. It got worse like after the marriage, because now he can't, you can't put him out. You'll have to leave,
Call the police, go
call
to
the
your house.
police.
You
Yeah, he would
fight.
take my keys to the car, leave me in the house with the children. And I want to make this clear. He was really good with the children. So it's not like he was doing this in front of them because they never seen anything. They were always playing or
Sleep.
somewhere, doing kid stuff. So they never like heard us argue or anything like that. Only one time when he and my son father argued. But and he thought I wanted him. It's like, why everybody looking at you? Why these men looking at you? They wasn't around when we was just together this time. Like now all of a sudden they popping up, and it was just so much. He was just so insecure. He would believe everything another man said, and
So
it
he was
was
always
complete
paranoid.
lies. Yes, it was lies. I couldn't believe it. Like, how are you even believing somebody outside of this house over me, and you sleep with me? You share your life with me. But I
Mhm.
don't know. He believed everything. He believed everything that they were saying, and we'll get into fights. And I got my eyes blacked over stuff, over lies that they made up.
Wow. So during the marriage, it was not only him listening to people on the outside, but he already had his issues, being paranoid and being trauma bonded to you and his situation from his childhoods that he did not heal, his childhood traumas. So he's bringing all this into the marriage.
Yes, that's what it means when it say accept you with everything, because that was a whole lot.
Absolutely.
It was a lot. I don't wish that on my worst enemy, man.
Wow.
Like just the thought of me being with another man would set him off. Another man looking at me set him off.
And you couldn't control that.
I couldn't control it, and he said he couldn't control it either.
Dang. So now we're gonna go to
I've never met somebody in my life that was so messed up. I didn't even know it was like a such thing as healing and all that type of stuff. Like, cause when I met him, I was single for like 2, 3 years. So I was just, you know, doing my single stuff, wasn't messing with nobody or anything. That's why I was hesitant in even talking to him, because I'm like, I'm not even ready to even indulge with a man. But he did like everything that I was asking for. I just wasn't prepared for him not to be healed. He didn't even, I don't even think he know he was not healed.
no, he didn't because he never went to therapy. Therapy probably was never suggested to him. And that's how it is in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks we supposed to keep stuff in the house. That's how everyone was brought up from the back in the day mentality. But
Mm-hmm.
if you see Becky and Christina, they have a psychiatrist or they have a therapist, and people speak so openly about that on TV. But in our community, it's shunned if you go to see a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist. And I think awareness needs to be brought upon these issues, that
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to get help and it's okay to not be okay,
Yeah,
because we
we
raise
did.
kids with
We,
these type of
we did.
mentalities.
That's true.
So and then they get stuck in a relationship and they not healed, and all their traumas is with someone else that has to try to figure out, for better or worse. Like you said, you decided to take on this. and that's what that means. But you didn't think that if I reassured him enough times, he eventually stopped thinking like this, but it still wasn't enough because he didn't do the healing. He didn't get
Yeah,
the.
that's exactly what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
If I constantly reassure him and kept adjusting to these thoughts that went off in his head, like you delusional, that like, no, I'm not looking at him, he's not looking at me. And then eventually I got tired of it. I'm like, go ask him why he looking. Then he got eyes, go ask him. Come on, let's go ask him. Why is you looking at me? Let's see you punch him in his eyes.
Right.
So eventually I started doing that. And I did fight him back one time on the way to work. I was I was I kicked him in his face, his neck, all type of stuff.
So
Some
you was
people saying
tired.
us fighting at the gas station and called the police. And they was like, what you want to do? I was like, he could go on about his business. I'm finna still go to work. So it was always like me going to work.
Wow.
And it was, I just,
So what was your last few moments of this marriage that you knew that it was time for it to come to an end? What was the scariest changing point for you?
when I was, I'm gonna share this. The turning point was when he held me hostage in a room. And no, that was like that's the second time he did something like that. But it was when he held me hostage in a room with a knife to my throat and he assaulted me. So I'm thinking, like, it was for some hours. So I'm thinking to myself, because I had protection, you know.
Mhm. So
So
did it start off that day, start off normal, just a basic day, and then it led into an argument, or was you guys already kind of trying to go your separate ways a little bit, and he knew that in his heart you was tired, so he decided to take this next step to, you know, assault you and hold you hostage, or this was just a random incident where it was.
it was just a random one, something just happening, some random another thought in his head. No, it was this guy who used to like stalk me. He had inboxed him and he told him she
Wow.
lying on me. I'm not bothering her. If Why would I do that? I'm single. I can have any woman I want and all that. So it was like it was always some outside noise, outside lies that always set him off. And he took it out on me. And I'm like, it's lies though. I couldn't get him to believe that it was lies.
Wow.
And he did that. And um my children was in the room and they heard some commotion going on. So when I think the next door neighbors called when they heard the bumping going on.
Okay, so how long was it you was held hostage when this was going on?
It was probably like 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about like 4 hours, 4, 5 hours,
And
and
then
I was debating on should I take him out before he take me out. My life literally flashed before my eyes during that time.
wow.
And I was like, oh no, this the last time. Cause once this happened, it's a wrap. So I was really debating Like,
And you was contemplating on what decision that you had to make in a matter of time.
yeah, because my children were there, and I'm like, what should I do?
Because you're going to have to go to trial. Your kids going to be having to play somewhere. So those are a lot of things that play through people's mind as a DV victim, or do want to protect themselves and take the proper precautions and, you know, harm this person that's been harming them, so it could come to an end, so they could feel safe. Nobody
Hmm.
never wants to have it come to this, but as it continues on, there's no peace in your mind as long as there's no peace in their mind. And
It's
you
not.
know
It's
it's
never
gonna lead.
ending.
Yeah. And you know
It's
it's gonna
never
lead
ending.
to them wanting to take you out.
Yeah. I said a little quick prayer. Next thing I know, the police was at the door, and the police name was my father's name.
Wow.
I know. I'm like, Dad, that's Pops. Thanks, Pop.
Hmm. And at the end of the day, regardless of what happened with your parents, your dad still love you and he wanted
Mhm.
to protect you. You get what I'm saying?
It was
And
the same thing all
spiritually.
over again.
Hmm.
It was the same thing all over again. Like my father, he never did anything to the children. It was always just my mom. And he used to have my mom in the room, locked away. And when she used to come out, her eyes used to be black.
Oh man.
Like it was everything all over again. So that's what it mean by like,
Generational curses.
thank you. You got
Hmm.
it. Gotta be somebody. Gotta break it.
Absolutely. And you did.
Yeah, cause he out of there. I escaped one time. I When I left, I went to the hotel, and packed my kids up, went to the hotel, and um
So he was asleep.
no, they had took him to jail.
Okay, so the day they took him to jail, this was the day you finally decided you had enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um I'm trying to see, did this happen before, like when I went to the hotel before? Yeah, this was a different incident when I tried to leave them. I went to the hotel with my kids, and I didn't even know, I don't know how like electronics work. And he went to the police station, and they pinned me at my location at
What?
the hotel, and but they didn't know what he was pinning me. He was like, he looking for me, like I've been missing. He gave him some script, and they told him where I was at. That was crazy. So it was like no leaving.
Right. Hey, peace, Kevin. Hey, King.
So yeah, that was wild, girl.
We speaking on domestic violence, and Miranda sharing her story with us. So the police gave out your location,
Yeah.
and he was able to find you. So what happened once he found you?
He didn't know. When he got to the hotel, before I checked in, I was finna stay there for like 2 days. And I told them at the what's that called? At the county, when I was getting there, I said, this is my husband. I showed him a picture. I said, I am leaving him, I'm escaping him. He's beating on me. Like, do not let him in here if he finds out where I'm at. So I guess it was shift change or whatever. So they let the man on the premises. He seen my car, and this idiot decides to go live in on my car, and like I'm at the hotel. Like he called me at the hotel cheating.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we can laugh now because he was on live with me, and I was typing on his live. Like, you idiot. Like,
Why are you lying? Like, you know these kids in this room, we hiding from you.
yeah,
And you talking about some my wife cheating on me.
yeah,
She at this hotel. Why she gonna do this to me? You what?
yeah. Try to make it out like I'm cheating on him, like he found my car at at the hotel, not
Oh,
knowing that you abusive and I ran and I left you, nigga.
nobody knew. So this was just a random thing. He going live and everybody thinking that you cheating. When in reality you hid everything.
Yeah, trying to make me look like the bad person.
hmm
I'm
And
like,
that's
no.
and
They
that's
was
what
like, oh no. I'll say it ain't so.
I know.
I don't like Facebook.
No, and that's what happened in domestic violence situations when you don't tell a best friend or somebody close in your family, whether you're not leaving that person or not. Even if you have to have a safe put up with pictures, it's
Hmm.
always important to tell one person. Because when
Hmm.
something random happens like this, she never shared this with anyone. When she
Hmm.
would get in domestic situations with him, he kept her home from work, so nobody ever seen this. So
Oh,
now,
they think I got pictures. I sent the pictures to his dad
okay,
and the wife.
okay, was
I
it
let
during
them know what was going on. I
before
sent
this?
it to his sister.
Before
And
this?
yeah, like
Okay,
I can't remember which time, but I sent pictures to his family. I said, this is what's happening to me. This is how I look. And they tell me I put him out. That's it. Put him out.
wow,
But the thing is, they knew who he was.
they already knew.
They already knew.
So at the room, when that situation happened after you went live, what happened the day after that? Did he stay out there? Did he hide somewhere? What happened?
He went live and he had everybody like on that knows me personally, like commenting, like it just like blew up. It damn near went viral. They was like, get off of here, and like, no, not Neff. And so he taking pictures. I'm taking pictures of him taking pictures of my car. Like, do I still have all this stuff in that phone too? Um, so he finally gets off live, and like some older people, some older women who he like try to keep a good impression of, so people won't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
They talk some sense into him and like, hey, take that down, take this down, don't do her like that. She's a beautiful wife, and y'all figure it out, y'all talk it out and stuff like that. So he wound up deleting the live and stuff.
Okay,
And
that
I'm like, that's so embarrassing. You can't embarrass me like that. That was it for me. That
okay.
that was really it for me. Um, it
So,
was
so that was your last and final straw. At that moment, you knew that it was a done deal.
yeah,
He embarrassed you for the last time.
yeah.
Okay, so what was the next steps you did to stay safe? Because that's what a lot of domestic violence victims wind up going back to their abusers because they feel like no matter what they do, they can't escape them, or they're terrified when they do find them, what they're going to do to them.
It's actually it takes an average of 7 times to leave a abuser. So when people act like you can just get up and leave, you can't do that. And I lost 3 sisters just try to get up and leave a abuser. You got to have a plan. You can't be like, I'm finna leave you and like, oh yeah. No, that puts you at really at high risk because he doesn't love himself. So that means he'll do anything and he'll take you with him, which
Hmm
is what happened to uh all 3 of my sisters. It's insane. I can't even believe it.
Wow. I'm sorry for your losses. That's
Uh,
terrible.
that's insane. And not just like, oh no, I can go out. I ain't going out. Mm-mm.
Generational curses.
You ain't finna take me out.
Mm. So you came up with a plan. Was this your first time planning this, or this was the final one? Where you like, this gotta work. This is enough. I had to keep my kids safe. He found me. I need to go through with what I need to do. What did you do for that moment? Did you go by your mom's house, or you didn't go there because he would have knew where you were? Where did you go? Because I'm just going through these details, so just in case someone needs to take these steps by steps. Like for example, some people depend on their abuser. Like
Yeah,
you were more independent.
yeah.
So we have other women that are out here that are home. So they don't have a source of income to go hide at a hotel room. So
Mm.
what would you suggest for that woman, the stay at home mom? Prime example.
What I suggest for a stay-at-home mom is don't allow them abusers to um, get rid of your help, because they'll try to sever all your relationships, your connections to people, have you turning on them. They even try to come at the women and say, look at what she did and stuff like that. They try to isolate you. That's the word I'm looking for. They would try to isolate you away from everybody. Never turn your back on your people ever, because they're gonna be there when you really, really need them. And I kept trying to leave him, and I only had one person, my auntie, um, who I called, and she let me come over there. And he don't remember where she stayed at, because they'll know everywhere where you go. He didn't remember where she stayed at. So I went over there. I stayed over there with her. I left my own house while he stayed in my house. So it's like, you just gotta keep your resources. You have to.
So whether you hide in some extra resources, keep those hidden separately from
You
him,
can't let him know everything about you. You cannot.
and
He'll use
always
it against you.
and always let someone that he does not know where their location is, you
Mm-hmm.
stay in touch with them just in case you need them.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
You gotta act like you don't even mess with them. Keep them at bay, but let them know what's going on.
Okay. So how
It's
has
embarrassing. You don't want to tell nobody, like, you getting hit in your eyes and stuff like that. And the thing is, um, if I wasn't, if it was up to my close people, I still be with him. And they're like, work it out, work it out. I'm like, what y'all want? Y'all want this motherfucker to kill me? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all stay in stuff like that, not me. I like to look in the mirror. What's wrong with y'all? So it turned into that, like, y'all need to get some self-love about y'all self. You don't supposed to put up with that.
no, absolutely not.
So
And
it takes it is like, oh, it was such short-lived marriage. Yeah, it was. It wasn't going no further than that. Had it gone further than that, he'd have took me and him out of here.
hmm but people, like she said, that feels like they have absolutely nothing to lose. They don't mind taking you out. They feel like they can't live without you in that moment. And if they
Mm-hmm.
can't no longer manipulate you, control you, isolate you, then they feel like they lost, because in their mind it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
And when they lose, it's like they mentally, the little stableness inside their head is gone. They check out. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's more when they lose control, like an abuser, who they are. Once they lose that control, they will go to any extent to gain it back, whether it's taking you out and them. So, like she said, Keep some resources hidden, whether you have to get it from someone, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't have cash on you, or some type of little babysitting job, whatever you have to do to have some type of income that he knows nothing about.
Yeah.
A relative or a close friend that he does not know you're in contact with.
Yeah. He
So he
can't
can,
an abuser can't know everything about you.
mm-mm.
He cannot, because I had a sister, her her baby daddy, he went to the friend, he would have did the friend too, but the friend left and went to the store. So it's like I had so much trauma behind it, which I have, like, I was having nightmares, got PTSD. I think I developed like a slight bipolarness, from it.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not messed up where I can't move on though. I done did my healing, but from him.
The
But
aftermath.
yeah, it's a you if you're in a domestic violence situation, ain't no way, ain't no way you moving on to the next, hopping on the next thing right after that. That's
Fact.
why Laonia is a lie.
And a
That's how I
fraud.
know for a fact she's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
She can she need to get with him, my ex-husband, and let's see you say abuse. That's who she needs. She need one somebody like that.
Yep.
That's real abuse. So that's why I say it's
Mr.
very
LaTruth was
insulting.
abused.
She's
Yep.
very insulting.
To people that were in domestic violence
Yeah.
situation.
And she's triggering.
Mm-hmm.
So she needs to just stop her lies while she's ahead and just go away. Take the bread that he got you and just go away. You and that clown, just go.
Mm-hmm. Because anybody, and I said it a few times, but I don't elaborate on it. My mom was a domestic violence survivor. She was with my dad for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so many stories about her situation as well that blows my mind. And she didn't share half of the things with me until I was old enough to ask.
Yeah.
And just a few things as a kid that I knew. It traumatized me to not even want to deal with him. I was on dental insurance, health care. He sent Christmas gifts. We tried to have phone conversations. I cut him completely out of my life until my son was born.
Mm.
I always had a stepdad that was awesome, that was there as a father figure. But I always felt like it was just this part of me that was missing that I wanted to explore. But the second I start talking to him and he start acting silly and things like that, that's the instantly I just cut it off. And I'll talk about that another day. But
Did your mom did he ever apologize to your mom?
and I don't think the way he should have. He didn't say I'm sorry for hurting you. My dad traumatized my big sister. She saw it, and he put his hands on my mom while I was in her stomach.
Yeah.
And if we didn't move here where I'm at now, my mom would be in prison or she would be deceased.
Yeah.
So,
That's how serious it is.
hmm so she went to the phone and finally called my grandmama and told her that day what happened. And my grandma drove, and I'll say where I was then, and from Mississippi to New Orleans to get my mom.
Yeah.
It'll be something as simple as someone breaking in the house and the alarm going off, and my mom walking back and forth, pacing in the house, and my sister, "Mom, you okay?" And she know he's gonna jump on her because someone broke in the house with the alarm. that she had no control over.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like
how
you
they
said,
do.
sitting in a car and another man looking at you on the side of you pulling up and he saying, "We get home, you know what's up."
Yep.
Something as simple as you controlling a man looking at you, admiring your beauty.
Yeah. That's a real abuser.
Thank you, Kevin. He said, "Great build, guys. We appreciate it."
Yeah. This is it's kind of bittersweet that this even hit the internet, because this opened the doors for the conversation to
Right.
even take place, because some people probably still be going through it and don't even know how to get out of the situation. So I'm pretty sure it helps some, and for those who didn't make it, because we already know, like, a lot of them didn't make it. I know at least five.
She knows some people, and it's so many men as well. And eventually, I'm going to share their stories as well. Men are victims as well. And you can clearly, and I'm trying to piggyback off of earlier what Miranda said, you can clearly look at Mr. LaTruth and tell he was a victim. He did
Yeah.
not date right away. It took for some strong individual out there in the world to help build him back up and
Yeah.
let him see who he was.
Well, that's because he probably thought it was like cute. You know how it starts off like that, and then before you know, you like way in too deep.
Mm-hmm.
And in like men, from men perspective, because I talk to a lot of different men, not like that, but you know, as in my sad thing, they they keep going and going and going. They don't they don't give up, like, on marriages and stuff and relationships and stuff. Women always tend to leave them. So you gotta be like a really jacked up person, female, for a man to leave you.
Right. And
It-
just knowing that these signs is out there, and it's something as small as, a person you thinking checking your phone, oh, that's so cute, or a light on you who's getting your name tattooed on them, and you think of it as a gesture of them showing their loyalty. When you have to always pay attention to the small detail, the small writing. I would pay attention to, if I was a guy, I would pay attention to how this woman interacts with her kids. And I'll say, okay, she got my name, looking back now, do she have a kid's name?
right.
And maybe she probably pretended to be a great mom.
Yeah.
That's what probably attracted him to her. He wanted a loving, nurturing woman, and he obviously thought that was her. And then when you get in a house with somebody, they're night and day,
Totally
completely
different.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally
So there's,
different. I'm pretty sure, like, early on, he like, dang.
yeah,
I messed up. Like, he had to been trying to get out of that early. Had to. Cause I did 6 months of, like, I don't care if it was the next day. If I know what I know now, I'd have married him today and divorced him tomorrow.
and
But
the
I
funny
don't be
thing,
caring about what, you know, somebody think, feels, say, and how I look to the world. Is my life, and I'm gonna run mine how I want to run mine. And he was
that,
so big on image, like he wanted it to look like it was something that it wasn't. And as they're like, oh, he had you smiling and this and this and that, and he was doing this, because I always posted like the good moments, because it was a lot of good moments, but I wasn't finna sacrifice good, like, flowers and, you know like whatever it was, the little
You
knickknacks
will
that.
post the happy moments. You wanted to, in your own mind as well, reassure yourself this was love.
Yeah,
So you needed that reassurance and validation, not just for you, but from everybody else telling you online, he's a good man. Oh, that's so sweet. My man don't give me flowers, stuff like that. So you like, okay, he may have all these flaws about him,
yeah,
but it's these positive things that other women in relationships too, they don't even get. So you can
yeah,
be blindsided by those type of things, you guys. So that's definitely some signs to look for.
yeah. He wanted me to post all that because I'm more private. He's more out there and
Me too. I'm
like
private.
people in the business. I'm like, no, and that's another thing. He wanted me to post like that we was dating and all that. I'm like, I don't like people in my business. So there was another thing on the reason why how everybody knew because he was insecure. Like I was hiding him. And like if I'm hiding him, who else am I hiding? Let the world know that, that we together. And I was like, it's no big deal. I just don't like people in my business.
And that's another red flag. Don't get me wrong, on social media, how it is today, of course, you want to share your relationship, but it's mostly, a lot of times, it's the female. We so quick to share it. And a guy, like, don't get me wrong, he shouldn't mind sharing it if you want him to. However, if he's forcing the issues more than you, as well as he have all these insecurities, thinking he have to prove something to everybody, and he's accusing you of this and that, that's definitely a red flag to look for.
Yeah.
Not just him wanting to post a picture of his woman, no, not that, but all the things that tie in between him wanting to show this relationship. He
Yeah.
wants to prove something to someone.
Yeah. He wanted to prove a lot to a lot of people.
And like she said, image. A lot of abusers, a majority of the time, are stuck on this image.
Yeah.
They want the world to perceive them as this loving, devoted, nurturing father, husband.
Yeah.
And in reality, behind closed doors, who knows what that person is going through
A monster.
right before taking a picture.
Yeah.
So when you gotten out of this situation, if you could have done anything, note to self, one thing that you would have changed differently, if you can go back and you say, I would have paid attention to that one thing, that I would have said, nope, it's not for me. Let me walk away. And I know you share red flags with us, but I'm saying that one thing that stood out to you.
Um, I would have, cause I keep like a lot of mental notes. Um, and I
Hmm.
pay attention to details. I'm just like that. And I only thing I probably change is I would have probably left him sooner.
Okay.
Um, but I knew although my life was threatened so many times and I could have lost it so many times if I knew I just know that I wasn't going to check out of this world through him. I just had that in my mind.
Wow.
And I know that um
You've lost your sisters due to unfortunate circumstances such as this. So you felt it was your destiny to not allow history to repeat itself,
yeah,
to break the generational curses, and you is not finna allow him to choose your destiny for you. You have
yeah,
children.
yeah. I can remember calling my mom. I was in tears and I was hollering in the phone like, Mom, why would you stay with my father if he was like this? You spent too many years. You did this for how many years? and married my dad 3 times.
Wow.
Like, would not leave my father for nothing. She would leave and she'd go back. She'll leave and go back, leave and go back.
And you know what's crazy? And I don't want to say it, but it's sometime with the old school people, they put up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Especially once that ring on the finger, they like said, they're not told to go to therapy. They're told to keep everything in the house. What go on the inside of this house behind these four walls stays here.
yeah.
So a lot of women back in the day, they dealt with the husband down the street. Long as he came home and he put food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
They dealt with him being a functioning drunk, alcoholic.
Yeah,
There's so many things that our grandparents and great grandparents dealt with that we look back on now and we say, wow. So they had so many red flags, but they chose to stay because that's the way they were taught.
yeah. It's crazy. It's insane. And the things that she used to say, my father used to do. I was with him, and she used to find the stuff cute, but now that I look at it, like, pop, like taking flowers out of the next door neighbor yard and bringing them to her. And she like, and having me pick the flowers to get to my mom and stuff. It was like the thought and stuff like that. And then when I was married, like, he would take my kids to the store to get me flowers. He wasn't picking them out of the yard or anything, but
Yeah.
he would take my kids to go get me flowers and bears, and always like
I'm
loving on me,
sorry,
teaching the
Chester.
kids and stuff like that. He did all that stuff. So, and I was like, have you ever heard of like being a good dad, but like a terrible husband?
Yeah,
And
I've
that
heard of
set
that.
him off.
Wow.
So it was like any little thing. And it was
So,
like toxic. And I saved him because had I told the men in my family, or either my
brothers.
my brothers, or like my homeboys, like the men that know me personally and period like that, because I'm like real cool people, like, because I'm like real dope. I'm dope in real life, no joke. So if I'd have told them, they it would have been over for
Hmm. For one, they wouldn't believe that you would, you someone that stands up for yourself
them.
and,
Yeah,
hard workaholic, just, all around decent human being.
yeah. They'll be like, no, not you.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
You
have
would be the
never
last
believed it.
person.
Yeah,
But he took advantage of the fact, like you said, you will only get married once. And he knew that.
yeah. That's crazy. It was another red flag. Like when I took him to meet my family, my because I love my family. I'm very family oriented. And I think it was a graduation party for my cousin or something, like coming out of high school or prom or something, whatever. It was a celebration. So I took him over there to meet my people.
Hmm.
And my auntie like, hey nephew, everybody like welcome them in. They was like, oh, you got you a good one and all this type of stuff. And my boy cousin, he he was like, why you hug him longer than you hugged him? And
Huh? Who did you hug longer?
I hugged one cousin longer than I hugged the other cousin.
Who said that? Your husband asked you that?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's like he was
He said
counting.
it in front of everybody. He said it in front of everybody.
No, he
Oh, I'm about to say, oh my gosh, I see
look,
one
but it
minute
came.
scalp him right there.
It came out. He almost set the whole party up, man.
Oh goodness.
I'm
And
like,
it
who
go
counts the seconds on the hug?
he's abuser. And that right there, you guys, and it's good that you can look back over and laugh at the most pettiest things that let you know you healed or you on the
Yeah,
road to healing. Cause my mom even laughed back over some things now. I'm just more
you
sensitive because
gotta
that's my
laugh at
mama.
this stuff. Like
Yeah, you
you
have
don't
to.
laugh at it then, but now it's like I was putting up with that. I wish would right now. Come on.
Yep.
So my cousin overheard him talking. This is my one of my big cousins. And he's like extremely overprotective of the women in the family. He don't play
Mhm.
that. So like if you having any type of issues with your guy, you don't want to tell him unless you done with the dude, which is how my brothers and stuff is. But anyway, so he overheard my cousin overheard him saying something. He was like, what's going on over here? I'm like, he talking about why am I hugging you longer than I'm hugging, the other cousin. He was like, is y'all real cousins or something? I'm like, he was like,
Wow.
yeah, that's my cousin. Like, our mamas and sisters, we first cousins. We have to explain all this. And then my cousin, she got two baby daddies there. So he's like, oh my God, I'm being played with? Like, is they just saying they cousins?
Yeah.
So it was just, he was like, no, we real cousins. So my auntie had to get in it. And
Oh my goodness.
it was blew all the way out of proportion. We had to go down my family tree
Wow. What?
and explain all this.
Oh yeah. So, and that's definitely a sign, you guys. I have to. I mean, I'm sorry.
We
Like
was
I said,
pulling up old pictures. We was pulling up the
look, it's a
like grandma
resemblance
house
in
pictures and
everything.
everything.
Yes, and
We was
that.
calling people on the phone like, how's we cousins? Like we was just doing the most.
And best believe that situation saved her probably from a real blown out argument that night when she got home, because that could have been ugly for her. So that's why I felt it necessary as well as her, and I'm grateful for having her today on a panel and sharing her story. And like she said, there's so many people can say, okay, it was too soon. It doesn't matter how soon. It's people in relationships with people for 5 years and they going through this and they're not married. So it doesn't make a difference with the time frame. The signs and the red flags are what makes a difference and what truly counts and matters. So this was a part one today. And part two, we are going to have people Friday come up to the panel and have questions or willing to share their story. We're more than willing to have you up. If you want to just sit and listen to someone else, then that's fine too. But I probably share a little bit about something. I don't know if I could get my mom to share. Maybe not.
We
But
don't want to turn this into like a like trauma dumping, just saying everything that happened, and you can't
no,
find like it's to heal. This is a
absolutely.
healing process.
And the steps to take to heal. And
Yeah,
this happened, this with my situation, this happened. I moved up here when I was 2 and I'm 39 now. So that happened many, many years ago. She healed from it.
yeah.
But everything is just to notice those signs and to get past it. So we want you guys to be able to come up here as well. And even if you heal and sharing your story, like Miranda's healed, so we can laugh back about the simplest things.
Yeah.
But everybody else, even if it's somebody that's not in a relationship anymore, that wasn't as good and that's been through domestic violence, you want to share the story, or you haven't healed and took that step to even getting therapy or to walking away, then this will be good for you. And I'm hoping that we make a difference in some sense with that through this whole month. I hope her story opened a door up for you guys to feel comfortable enough to want to share, or at least want to get out of a bad situation if you're in it. And I didn't want to keep you guys on here too long. That's why we labeled it as part 1, and we'll have part 2.
Yeah.
You have any final words, Miranda, you want to share with anyone before we
Yeah. I just want everybody to like the video, take something from it, learn from it, heal, do the work, people. Do the work. We all have something that we need to work on. We're human beings and we're living life. Things happen to us in our childhood that we could not control. Now that we're adults, we have to do the work, become a better person so we can attract great things in our life.
So before we get off, can you give us a couple of the things you would suggest for them to do the work? I know therapy is one of them.
Yeah. I suggest you just talk to somebody. You have to talk because healing is talking, laughing is
Mhm.
talking. In any situation you put yourself in or you get in or someone push you in, you got to find a humor in it. You got to. If you just always gonna be crying and sad and mad and sitting and sulking, then that's gonna be the rest of your life. Just have a vision of what you want your life to look like, and that's what gave me the strength to get out of that. Cause I'm like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm not finna. I like to look at myself. I like to enjoy life. And I'm an easy person to get along. I stay in like long-term relationships. I do at least 10 plus years. So when that was short-lived, I thought like I cannot do 10 years of this. No way. So I knew I was getting out of that. And if I'm not happy, we're going to talk about it. We're going to fix it. But you cannot be with somebody who's insecure. People have to do their homework. They have to do their healing. Find out what it is in their childhood that happened to them and see if they're working towards healing, then I can see you stepping back and letting them do it. But do not get into no relationship with somebody who has not healed or who has not began to heal, and get a therapist. You don't like your therapist, keep going till you find somebody who can. And strangers are the best therapists because they're non-biased
Mhm.
and they'll
Very
give
good.
you the best advice because they can't judge you. A lot of people like, I don't want to tell nobody because they so judgmental and all that type of stuff. But this is another thing. If you were healed, people can't throw things back in your face and it'll bother you.
Right.
So I'm healed so much. People like, oh, that's short-term marriage and it was toxic and all that. Okay, and I agree with you. What you want me to argue and get defensive? I agree with you. But look at you.
Right.
You doing 20 plus in toxic.
Mhm.
I'm
Or
different from
doing
you.
20 plus, not married and still in toxic.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
so many things so wrong with yours, but you looking at me, but that's a
Right.
whole nother subject. But just do the healing and talking is therapy. Just people like to hold things in, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy to hold it in.
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more.
That's the beginning of the process, is accepting that you need help, because we all been through things, all of us, and there's no excuse to keep doing BS.
or keep giving a person an excuse because he had a traumatic childhood, or
Yeah.
his mom didn't raise him, or his father wasn't around to teach him how to be a man.
Yeah.
A lot of decent men come from homes being raised by their mothers, their grandmothers.
Yep.
Shout out to Kevin and Miss Latrue.
Yeah.
They're out here. So don't think that he gets a pass for that, or she gets a pass for that. Let's keep saying she too. But we
Yeah.
spoke on, Miranda's story today. So, today we speaking on a man.
Yeah. A lot of women, this is what they do. They be feeling sorry for the man because
Mhm.
his family don't mess with him, or he'll cry. He was squeezing tears out. He was crying and all that. And they play on our emotions. That's the emotional manipulation. And you'll feel bad for them, but they have to do the work themselves. You can't do it for them.
Yep.
And there's some people who will never. I need people to understand this. There are so many people who will not think about doing the work. They like being messed up. They like being broken, and they don't see a bright future. That's the only thing they see is what they doing. Drinking, drugging, and not healing day in and day out. It's a lot of people like that. And if you bump into somebody like that, which those who are the toxic ones and the abusers, you have a man like that, you better get out while you can. And like, I can't help you anymore, because he's
Mhm.
not gonna he's not gonna let you grow. You cannot grow with somebody like that.
He tried to isolate you, and then he tried to take your jobs from you.
Yeah.
And
So I can
now,
depend on him.
absolutely, your freedom. And that's
Yeah.
one thing out of a relationship that allows you to grow. When that partner allows you that freedom, you don't want to be secluded with your partner 24/7, because what are you going to have to talk about? What are you going to have to look forward to? And even if it's just they go to work, you go to work, and you guys live together, that's different.
Yeah.
But you going to work is giving you that independence and that freedom away from them to allow you to miss them for
Yeah.
8 hours a day.
Yeah. And
And
he
he want
asked to take care of me too, because that's like really hard for me, because I've always,
been independent.
yeah. And he was like, this was before anything, and I was like, I only trust my husband to take care of me, because I don't trust nobody in that aspect. But to take care of me and my children, like, and I get to sit at home and just take care of the home and the children and depend on you to pay the bills. That was a whole lot for me. I had a very big problem with even considering it. I was in
Mhm.
tears, like, and I knew that he was able to do it because he's a worker. He
Right,
works on businesses. So it's like, but he was doing it for the wrong reasons.
right.
That's really hard to do. Like, when you get married, you got to turn that
Independent.
independence, you got
Mhm.
to turn it down. And that was really hard for me to do, because I don't trust nobody to take care of me or my
When it
children.
and this is the thing too, I want to say before we disconnect. I think it was her intuition as well that did not allow her to fully put her guard down. Because any woman with the right person, you will submit. You,
Yeah.
and even if it was her running her own business from home or doing something that she loved to do, I think Miranda would have did that. But she wanted her freedom because in the back of her mind, her self-conscious was telling her, like, something not right. No, as soon as you give this up, you're gonna have to give this up. Or as soon as you give this up, you wind up at home all day with the kids while he's working. And it's still not gonna be right, because he's still gonna come home accusing you of stuff, even though he knows you've been home all day. He watched the camera at home all day.
Yeah. What you doing? Calling every 10 minutes. What you doing?
Yeah. Go
Nothing.
to the grocery store and run out of freaking ketchup.
Yeah.
And just something as simple as that,
It was always something.
So we're not saying, in a marriage you don't submit. She wasn't with the right partner to submit.
I love being a woman, so I don't never want to be no man.
Yeah.
So
That
that right there is, he was like, "Oh, he did tell me like you too masculine." I said, "Well, the masculine part is me working. I
yeah.
work like a man because that's what men do. But I
Hmm.
enjoy my womanhood. I love being a woman.
Being feminine, being in your
I
feminine
love it to
energy.
core. Hmm.
Absolutely.
And
And
that's why he balanced. He was more. He's like a real masculine man. So
well, you
that's
got go ahead, Miranda. I'm sorry.
that stuff crazy. I just won't women like, don't put up with that. It's so many men out here. Men will what men are supposed to worship the ground you walk on. I know what it's like to be loved. A lot of women don't know what it's like. I know what it's like. I've had it before.
To be loved correctly.
Correctly. Yeah.
Yep. Anybody can love you. It can be an obsessive loving you too much.
Yeah.
But being loved correctly, she knows what that is like. She
Yeah.
had that before.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. Like, and it's a very big difference. And
Mm.
don't have nobody around you just because it's a body, a man, because they play off of that stuff.
Yep.
It's
And
so many men out here that needs a real a real woman that will do the work, and you do not have to tell him anything. They
mm-hmm.
know what they need to do.
Yep. And they will know when you're the right woman to submit to certain things for you as well.
Yeah, and we do it naturally. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's that right one, like that right man, like he definitely gonna bring out the femininity. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my god, like shit, you know.
Yep. And like I told everybody in my last live, or was it my third live, tone your energy down. Be in your feminine energy when you approach the situation or argument or anything like that. Try to see if that works. And that only works to somebody worth submitting to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just only saying that so we don't come off masculine. A man doesn't want to argue with another man. He doesn't want to lay in the bed with another man.
Yeah.
So sometimes being single parents and even having boys as your kids, sometimes we could come off a little a little masculine, a little harsh, a little, you know,
Yeah.
more, I don't even want to say strong. What is it? But I know how I am off this camera.
Yeah, they say we intimidating.
Yeah,
I
so
get that so much. I'm like, no, I'm not intimidated. You just not gonna play with me.
yes, and that's because I go outside and I play basketball and I get in my son's face. So
Yeah. Hey,
so
we got to.
right. So it's a lot of stuff that I have to get out of my mind too. And like you said,
We works in progress, baby.
yes, we
So
are. You
it
know,
is, as long as we doing the work, that's all that
absolutely.
matter.
Yes. And my mom is, I would say, I would give this to her. I never saw her in any masculine energy whatsoever, ever my whole life. And even her yelling at me, "Can you go sit down somewhere?"
Yeah.
She's saying it the nicest way possible. So when I raised my voice, and I never forget this. This is funny, which I wasn't a bad kid growing up. Let me clear that up. She said, "Why are you yelling at your son? I did not yell at you." And I say, "Well, maybe you should have yelled at me."
Yeah.
And when I said that, boy, that's the first time my mama looked at me like she wanted to take my face off, but I had to apologize. For real, but that was my only comeback. But I had to apologize because sometimes the grandparents, they love their grandkids so much, and we'll talk about that another day too.
Yeah.
But sometimes being in your feminine energy will get your point across more than being in your masculine energy.
Yeah, it works like a charm. I don't.
Hmm.
That's why I don't have to holler and argue or nothing. I just say things one time and it's done.
Yeah,
And that's
I don't
what
do that no
women
more
need to
either.
know. You don't have to holler to the top of your lungs. Just
Even
tell them
if
what
you
it
shock
is
them,
and
Miranda,
it's
you will
done.
shock them.
Huh?
You will shock a man if you used to hollering to the top of your lungs, and he say something to you, and he bracing himself over the phone because he know you finna go off, Miranda. Then you say, "Okay, that's fine." He'll be like, "What?" You be like, "All right, I'll talk to you later." And even if you have to get off the phone with him to go off in the bathroom or whatever you got to do, just do it. And I guarantee you, he gonna sit there wherever he at for a second, look at his phone, like, hold on a minute. What does she mean now it's fine? Hold on. He gonna start playing over the conversation in his head again, right, Miranda?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what
He can
happened?
look,
He
he
gonna
he
call
playing
you
it
back
over in his
apologizing.
head.
For real. Especially if he truly care about you. Like she said, we work in progress. And
Yeah.
sometimes situations we've been in our lives cause us to be masculine.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
heard I got a
I grew up
masculine
with
voice.
boys. I played sports, all
Me
that.
too.
So,
Yes.
but I got a balance to my stuff. I'm good though.
Me
It
too.
I mean, I can maybe I have more, and that's the thing with real masculine men. They're really soft. They really soft. They
Yep.
softer. They real masculine in the world, but they really
Mhm.
soft on the inside.
And they have feelings. And people
Yeah,
think
everybody
that,
got feelings.
yep. And they think that since they're so masculine to the world that they don't have the same feelings that we do. And
Yeah,
they're able to cover that up more better than the next person. They don't
yeah,
express themselves well, or maybe they open up to somebody else before and that person burned them. So now they're not easy to say, well, you hurt me when you said this, or this bothers me when you do this. So no, they just kind of brush it off and keep going, and you thinking, oh, well, that didn't bother him. No, he's just like you. He has feelings too.
yeah,
And that's why I don't, no matter how I play basketball with my son, I do not ever tell him to shy away from his feelings.
yeah,
I want him to know he needs to be a king of his castle one day. He needs to be a man and be strong. But it's okay to show his emotions in a healthy way because I
hmm,
don't want his wife to not nurture those emotions.
yeah. And it's very important to teach our sons like that early on.
Absolutely.
I taught my son that early on. He was even crying when Coach Cheese died on Cooley High. So it's like teach him early, like it's okay to cry.
And I'm a
You just not finna do too much of it now.
can I tell you guys something? And I'm gonna share this with you. I'm glad you said that. My son hasn't cried about my sister yet.
Oh my.
And I know. And um he he hasn't. And that was a mom to him. He lost a
Yeah.
mom. And I keep that in mind. And he doesn't even want to talk about it to me. And so I tell him, and I know it's gonna be at his own timing. And I know that's why he boxes to let out his aggression and things like that. He's
Yeah.
an easygoing kid, and
Amen.
I'm saying this and putting myself out there to say, just because your child doesn't say things or share things with you, that doesn't mean it doesn't bother them.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
It's
I did
definitely
put him
bothering
in
him.
therapy at one point, but he wasn't talking to them.
They got the this the thing. You got to find the right person that fits
Exactly.
you.
Yep. So I'm
That's why I was doing it on the side as a side hustle because I got the education and the background in the
mm,
counseling
yeah, you
department.
do.
And I was actually like a child therapist too.
Wow.
So in my profession. So it's like um he got to find the right one for him. And that's why people don't talk, because they don't feel comfortable with.
Because he shares everything with me except for his emotions about that. And I think it was because early on, how I reacted to the situation, it was a lot for him to process.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when I realized that, okay, I'm a mom, I have to find time to cry. When I'm around him, I have to show him strength. I
Yeah.
never lost anybody in my family besides my mom's mom that I truly cared about. Imagine going your whole life and you don't lose anybody
Yeah.
except for your mom's mom, and she prepared you for that. Your grandma was sick.
Yeah.
So I lost my sister. That was the first L I ever took my whole life. So my family didn't teach us how to grieve properly.
Yeah.
So I had to figure this out on my own for the first time. And I'm thinking in my mind, I got to teach my son as well how to do the same.
Yeah.
So he's such a loving, nurturing, open the door, all the above. But I think he blocked that part off when he saw the way I was handling it.
Yeah. That's why he don't talk to you about it. He don't want to set you off.
But I also reassure him all the time too. I say, DJ, it's not about me. That was like a mom to you too. I know you hurting. It's okay to share with me how you feel. I got to be there for you like you been for me.
Yeah.
But, I guess he'll come around at his own time. He started laughing at me. He said, "You my mom and I'm close to you. If I'm not telling you how I feel, you think I'm going to tell somebody else?"
That makes sense.
Yeah,
But it eventually he will. He'll talk about it when he gets ready.
I think so too.
Maybe he needs to start journaling and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, men journal too. I had my youth, they were journaling, and then, they was like ripping it up because they didn't want nobody to read it. And that's what boys did. But the girls, they kept their journals.
Yeah, we
But
kept our little locks.
yeah,
And boys, they not going to get no little lock diary. So they going to
yeah,
keep a journal and then they feel bad, like, oh my God, I can't believe I said how I felt. A man has one time to feel violated by a woman and they trust not sacred worth trusting, or they feel like you're not strong enough to carry on their pain. They're taught so young that they have to be strong. You
yeah,
know, even though I taught him it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel how you feel, he's still a young man. So he's learning from his dad and the men in his lives that he has to show strength. And in
yeah,
his own way, he's processing it the best way he can at this time, you
yeah,
know. But I know he'll get around to that. But my point of sharing that with you guys is just to say, everybody have feelings. Men have feelings too. So
yeah.
don't think just because your partner or your child act like everything is fine, lie on your hint, hint, everything is fine, that they don't feel things. Kids feel things worse than we do.
She messing those kids up, man.
Yes. And that's why
I
people
see it
say, why do
already.
you
She
speak on
messing
the
them
kids?
up.
Because I'm a parent. And I
Yeah,
know if my situation hurts my son and he took a L for the rest of his life with that being so 13 to process at that time. Imagine these kids grew up with the only father figure in their life.
yeah,
And now he's out of the home, and the things that they thought they didn't see, their mind now is trying to train them because their mom is telling them, you did see that. Well, when we was arguing behind the closed doors, he was choking me and putting his hands on me, allegedly. So now this once good, loving, nurturing father figure in the home to these kids is no longer what they thought he was. So now they have to think bad about him. Even in their heart, they still love him.
yeah,
They haven't saw that man in what, a year?
yeah.
Almost. Imagine how they
That's
feel.
crazy.
Yeah. So that's just me to you guys out there that even the other side across the street that think that this situation wasn't leading to them today. However, it's bits and pieces out of their life that can be dissected and used for an example. And even with the kids situation, I'm going to advocate for kids all day, every day,
Yeah.
because I would want someone to do that for mine, or I would want someone to tell me, hey, you're not doing this right, or maybe you need to do this a little better. And everybody can say she doesn't watch these videos, but at the end of the day, it's crystal clear to me. She done corrected quite a few things I said personally.
Yeah.
I said, cook after school for your kids. What's she doing? Mad on camera cooking. Put on a bathing suit on the beach with your sons. They don't need to see your buns out. What you do? Get a cover up.
Yeah.
And those are just a few of the many things, and somebody telling you do things better as a mom and pointing out certain things, that's not talking about your children, because we all can learn things as parents and no parent is perfect.
Nope. We all
We
need
far
help.
from perfect. Absolutely. And it's just
All
how
of
you
us.
go
That's
about
why
the
it takes a
situation.
village. We all need help. I can learn some
Absolutely.
things from you. You can learn some things from me. But most importantly, you can learn from the children.
You definitely learn from the
Just
children.
listen to them and have a conversation with them. They will tell you, they will talk to you. How are
Mm-hmm.
you feeling? You got to have these relationships with your children, individual relationships with each child. That's how I know it's really hard being a single parent, because you got to be a different mom with this one, a different mom with that one, a different mom with that. You can't be the same mom with all the kids, because they all have different personalities. And I
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell mothers this,
They
like,
said, Jesse, baby, hey, baby. And someone said to your question, they said, good to your mom, but not good to his mom.
hmm?
I don't know. What you meant, Karen? You the first Karen I met that's black. Are you a snob like the other? I'm just messing with you, Karen. You heard me, Karen? I'm messing with you. I said you the black Karen, virgin of Karen. But Karen said a virtual hug flag. What? Vertical hug flag. Vertical huge flag. My bad. Sorry. My nose ring fell out. My bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely a vertical huge flag. Okay.
Yeah,
Keep
that's
this. I lost my nose ring in real life. Shoot. But I I will end it on a good note, you guys. I appreciate you guys listening. You can't be the same mommy too. So what? You can't be the same mommy too. So your children. That's deep. I need that. Mhm.
can't.
Okay.
They different people.
Yep, absolutely. Each kid requires different things.
Yep.
Some kid requires more nurturing. Another kid requires more attention in a different way. Like that
Yeah.
kind of kid might want to watch TV with you, sports or something like that. When the
Yeah.
other kid might just want hugs. The other kid might want to cook with you in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But you have to know your kids well enough to know what they require, even your adult children or your
Hmm.
teenagers. Sorry, I worded the first one wrong. It's okay. We figured what you were saying, sis.
If everybody was loving their kids like that, they about wouldn't even have time have time to even be hopping in different relationships. Hop
Absolutely
in a
not.
relationship with your children. How about that?
Yep.
Get to know your children. Even after that, like breakups and stuff, I take my children out. I go have fun with them, build relationships with them before you bring anybody else into their life. What's wrong with you, girl?
And I will say this, Miranda, hands down from what you've shown me and what I've heard, you are a great mom. You've always been doing stuff with your kids from the weekends, movie nights to fun, adventurous things throughout the day. Like you awesome. So
Thank you.
that's great.
You are too. You are
Thank you,
too.
sweetheart. I appreciate that. So, like she said, get to know your kids first, you guys, especially coming from Even not like on she ain't come from nothing, but coming
You
what
gotta
well,
say Mr. Ed.
right, exactly. Coming from Mr. LaTrue, we could use him and you for an example. Coming from a situation that was domestic abuse, Mr. LaTruth waited for a while before he decided to talk to somebody else. Like Anya felt like she needs to run in the arms of Mr. Ed. And unfortunately, she ran to baby fat and it couldn't protect her. So he's been trying again in the gym. We'll see how that go. So
I
I
wonder
had to
how
say
much her
that.
bill gonna be when it's over with.
Exactly the tab. The currency sender immediately lie on you. Save yourself the trouble.
We gonna have to make him a list. I think he was throwing the football. That's $500 to throw the football,
Oh my goodness. You guys, we gotta end it on a laughing note. This
huh?
funny.
Okay.
So you said $500 for the football. So I wonder when she gonna pay him at the end of the month for the extra stuff. And then he had I don't believe his stomach went from being 6 months to where we at now. So for real, I saw him do 4 gym videos. You hear me? So you mean to tell me from him being forced to eat like on your fettuccine noodles pasta every day, she cooking some type of pasta stuff from Krispy Kreme in it, to him going home to his studio apartment slash fake imaginary
His
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Yes, that he done got this workout routine down packed. And he done sweated out all those toxins to where we got this 6-pack on camera right now. You can't make this stuff up. Just like they convinced me he had some veneers until the lens was shown where he didn't have veneers, and he looked it just like his siblings. Absolutely. And if you guys want a reminder of how his siblings look, I'll gladly put it in my community wall. But it
He
is
got
confirmed
siblings. I know he
he
got a
has
sister. Let me
siblings.
see. I need to see.
He has a donkey as a brother, and he has Mr. Ed as his cousin.
Sound
But
like a farm animals, man.
yes, it is. Those are his siblings. You didn't see him? Everybody didn't know he had siblings. When I posted the pictures, it was confirmed he looked just like him. But I'll repost him again. Hey, Jared. Hey, Mike, Mickey, Mikey. Yes. You didn't know that, Miranda?
No.
Yes,
I
he has a
heard
lot of
something about a
brothers.
sister. See,
No, he
this is
got.
why I like y'all. Y'all be keeping me updated. Cause I
You
can't watch them. I gotta
no,
watch
listen,
them.
listen. It's not real ones. It's the picture of Mr. Ed I posted.
Oh,
Hey, Kimberly. She thought it was y'all. She look Miranda picture, but I didn't know he had siblings. Thank y'all for keeping me updated. I shouldn't have said anything to her, y'all. I should have just posted in my community. See, here's the siblings. She would have just fell out laughing, man.
heck
Oh,
no. I'm through
yes.
with you.
But I had to find his siblings. I really did. He was out here alone in the world. And everybody talking about he fine, he look like this and that. No, he looks just like his brother. He sure does. Let's keep it real. He has a twin. He sure does. He has a twin brother. Absolutely.
It's so annoying. Oh, I
Yes.
don't see how they do it.
And then he makes fun of, and it's the thing, everybody says he don't have anything to do with anything. No, he shouldn't have. But the only reason I come for Mr. Ed slash donkey hip slash Y hip receiver slash chase the rainbow slash fruity booty ooty is because he had the nerve to mess with that man about his daughter. You don't
Yeah.
play with a man over his child.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Okay. Second of all, he throw little jabs at Mr. LaTruth here and there about his career.
But he really a clown though. So if you really want to get down and dirty, you wouldn't even do this in the streets, man. You a clown.
No, you wouldn't. Kimberly, come take my phone. You can't. No, he wouldn't. Should I do another part 2? I'm on red all day. I'm on red all day. I'm like fireworks. Who gonna give themselves a nickname? This man was up there talking about they called me firecracker in school. What? What? You talk about what? Elementary, they call you firecracker? What have you done to explode since elementary? Do you have a record from middle school going off or something? You talking
I,
about elementary, they call you firecracker because you tipped over the desk one day. That's it? That's why you
I
got the
got a
name?
lighter. Let me light it.
Yeah, he up there going talking about so they call me firecracker in elementary. What? Then talking about I'm on red all day. No, he said he on green all day. All we heard was red the next day. We ain't
Dang.
hear nothing about Mr. Ed. He thought about it. He said, "Oh shoot, Mr. LaTruth be in the videos. He got muscles. I got baby fat still." He started looking in the mirror. He like, "I'm 6 months pregnant. I don't need to be fighting right now." He like, "Oh man, he done got his body back together. I don't need to go up against this man." No, you don't, sir. You're pregnant and you're trying to get him locked up.
The pregnant man.
Yeah, he trying to get him locked up because he pregnant, trying to get some charges on Mr. LaTruth. Mr. LaTruth had to be smart.
That's
He don't
crazy.
fight no woman while she pregnant. Mm-mm. No. And then he up there with that little struggling rap song that he had Miss Lionya playing online, the only play we ever heard it from. But he want to talk about Mr. LaTruth's struggling career. And you
Man,
struggling to stay relevant. If it weren't for Mr. LaTruth who made Lionya relevant, make it make sense.
right. And they really not relevant because they annoying, they irritating, and they just need to go away. They
They're relevant because they keep speaking on this man and they keep beating his dead story and they wondering why it won't end. Mr. LaTruth ain't online saying, "Look at me, Lionya. Look at me. Look at me with my new woman." No, you and your fans are jumping in this man comment section. By the way, if y'all watch this video, shout out to y'all. Do not write anything. Do not waste your time writing a paragraph. I'm going to delete it right away. So I'm just letting you know again. Don't waste your time. Hold on to your thoughts. Now, she was happy. She'll move on peacefully. She'll call off her squad and tell them let it go. But she's not happy. And we all know that. And happiness starts within. Happiness starts with you. If you've been in a long-term relationship, there's no way you possibly healed if you don't put in the work. And keyword, when Miranda say work, that's serious. You have to put in the work. You have to heal yourself. You have to find who you are all over again as a single mom and you're older now. You was a younger woman. Now you're an older version of yourself. And you just leaving off where you left off at 6 years ago, twerking and dancing, looking for your next victim. That's not cool. You know, a real woman knows her worth and she knows she needs to heal before she introduces her kids to another male that
yeah,
possibly isn't long term.
yeah. And this another thing when you're traumatized, you're like stuck at that age until you do the healing work. So if you're traumatized at 19 years old,
Mm-hmm.
like something really bad happens, like going to jail or something like that, it's like your life freezes until you come out of jail. And then when you're out of jail, you're still like back at 19 years old, unless you do
No,
the
she
work.
ain't lying. She ain't lying. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Yep. Unless you do the work.
Yeah. That's how trauma works. So
Mm-hmm.
it's up to the person. If they want to do it, they can do it. If not, let them be like that, but don't let them be like that in your life because they will drag you down. They will keep you stuck, and you cannot grow into being the person that you need to be. And they're
Good.
going to attract a whole bunch of nonsense in their life. And it's going to
Mm-hmm.
hit you since you're in their life.
Facts. And you do not want a toxic relationship, like she said, holding you back. You know, messing with your money, messing with the time you want to spend with your kids and your family. At the end of the day, growth, excuse me, growth starts with you. Growth starts first within. Heal yourself first before you try to go out and venture into somebody else, because you just bring it on that toxic trait that you have. You bring it on those demons and all that stuff that you kept in the closet that you didn't heal. You just bringing it with you, putting it in another suitcase. That's the best way I could put it. What do you think, Miranda?
Yep, you're absolutely correct.
Or putting it in a Michael Kors purse, you know? What, I don't see nothing wrong with Michael Kors. I like Michael Kors too.
She wearing it out. She make me sick, man.
Yeah, just don't make fun of nobody that wear, what was the other brand? Chanel? How you gonna make fun of somebody wearing Chanel purse? Like, that's nice too.
She's annoying. I can't wait till she go away. She is. She just
I
irritate.
know you can't. It's gonna
Him and her, they irritate me so bad.
after this divorce, they're both gonna fade on out. I'm dead serious, because there's no point of doing, what am my content gonna be about? Like, you know, she deadbeat. You know, Mr. Ed, he built his podcast. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's getting himself. The difference between her and him, Mr. Ed is working on getting himself situated. So when he walks away from you so silly. When he walks away from needing her again, well, he won't need her as much. He done built the whole podcast off of her back that she laid on to get with Mr. LaTrue.
That's what
Make
she
it make
get.
sense. You
That's
get
what
what
she
I'm
get.
saying?
Hmm.
And she's sitting up here thinking she did something. You
I don't
watching this?
understand why they act like they can't, like they finna escape karma. Like, no, it don't work like that.
Not at all. Karma came knocking at her door early and she just embraced it. She wouldn't even had to go through karma. It's bad enough she lied on this man and she led this relationship on when she had doubts about certain things, okay?
Hmm.
It's another thing, not only the karma from what she's putting her kids through, this generational cycle, but the karma of her trying to ruin and destroy someone. What make you think? And everybody says, "Oh, God sent you a good man. God sent you
Nope.
this." God is not going to bless any mess. God is not going to bless your union when the first door is not completely closed.
That's
Do you
right.
think God is really going to overlap a unity that he blessed, that he
Yeah.
nurtured, that he agreed with, and say, okay, well, that's not working out, even though you're still holding on to being married, we're going to give you this guy that doesn't have no experience with kids, none whatsoever. And we see that clear as day ourselves. He's standing up here with your son, who he should be bonding more with instead of your damn daughters. Oh,
Yeah.
I done made my thing. I didn't mean to cuss you guys. But I'm just saying those boys need male figures around. They got like on you the females. Not saying they have much to look at, but they
Oh.
have a woman role model in the house.
Pop, pop,
You
pop.
exactly. That's all the daddy could say. He getting away with free gas money and uh, no child support for the next 5 months just to say bop bop bop. He pull up bop bop bop. Really, bro? That's all you can say? He getting out of there. Bop bop. Like,
His
oh,
slow, crusty lip, you know.
yes. So
Tired.
with the whole situation of that, you guys, let that be an example of stupidity. Let that be an example of a failed relationship, someone that made it from nothing, that tried to prove to the world that, I was okay before him. Okay. When clearly we all seen the evidence in the tapes that showed us elsewise. Someone that not wanting to give someone flowers and credit when credit should have been gave, is someone that jumped in a relationship that claimed they was a DV victim, that did not do the work, that did not heal. Had she did the work, had she even went to therapy, even if she wasn't a DV victim, she say, "Hey, I want to go to therapy because my I just ended this marriage of 6 years. Well, he ended it, but let her tell it she ended it. And my kids was in this marriage with me for this time, and they looked at him as a father figure. We need counseling and therapy. I want to make sure my kids know what healthy things are and what they not, because we did kind of go back and forth yelling in the house, and I know they're going to miss him. And now their relationship, seeing him every day, they're not going to see him all the time like that. But she didn't do that. If she even did that, you guys, and she didn't even have to claim to be a DV, she would have not jumped in this relationship right away, because the therapy session would have told her what to look for, told her she needs time to heal, told her focus on her kids, focus on
Mm-hmm.
her new lifestyle as being a single parent. She has to embrace that first before she embraces meat, and
Yep.
she would have been okay. But she chose to do it backwards. And when you continue to do things backwards and you expect different results, it'll never work out good for you.
Nope. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have told her, "Hey, I think it's too soon. Wait till you get divorced and all that."
You
But
can't
she,
tell her anything.
yeah, she don't listen to anything, and she thinks she know everything, and she's gonna crash and burn. And it's sad to say that her children are gonna suffer from it.
Hmm. And even if they're not suffering now, long-term goals in the future as parents, like everyone says, oh, her kids are fine, this and that. No, her kids are not freaking fine.
No, they
Her
not.
kids are wearing the mask
Yep.
of having to pretend to be fine, having to act to the world because their mom is a influencer of what I don't know, of twerking. But that's that's the role and the dynamic of their relationship. They have to be fine. That's the only way around it.
She forced that on them. She forced uh what's the dude name? The annoying.
Mr. Ed, why here
Yeah,
personification
she forced
rainbow.
them kids to accept him.
And even if the kids in their heart wanted to say, Mom, I don't like him, or the daughter said several times he was too immature, do you think she really gonna say, okay, I'll keep that in mind? She gonna say, girl, go sit down somewhere. Go drink some water.
Mm,
Stay in a child's place. But you
yeah.
have her in child's situation. I mean, not in a child's place the whole time when you asking her questions on the beginning of the season of your show when you're not even divorced. I didn't even want to say the ink haven't dried. The ink haven't even started yet. And you saying, what kind of guy y'all want to see mama with? Because you had to throw that in there so it didn't set us off, or it wasn't a shock to us when Mr. Ed popped his strong nostrils up on the scene. You had to prepare us for this. You had to, for real, she had to let us think, oh, okay, she did say it in the beginning of the show. You said that on the first sit down on your show.
Yeah.
How can you? And that's what let me know, and I'm just being real, y'all, you guys, mentally not there all the way. Nobody in their right mind gonna be in a marriage for 6 years. Okay, you guys can't have it both ways, okay? And you said my grief with my sister is the same as this marriage. Hell to the no, it ain't. Okay. I
Mm,
love my sister. I was with my sister 38 years. Okay.
yeah.
She had a good man. She didn't care enough to respect him to not only not ruin his life, but to bring another man around her daughter. So you guys say this, for example, she been over him. The marriage been dead and gone. She been checked out of that relationship. Okay, so if she been checked out of that relationship, how is me grieving my sister the same as her grieving her marriage? Make it make sense. You
Right.
can't have it both ways. Is she grieving or was she over it, right?
Right.
So don't ever compare those two because those are unmatched. Now, if it was
No.
somebody else that was in a long-term relationship or married and they were getting broken up and it was coming to an end, and even if it was on mutual terms, breakups is never easy. And yes, you do feel like you've grieved a spouse. You do feel like you've lost someone, like it's like they never coming back. It's over. I understand that. I felt that way before. But it's when it comes to those two, it's not the match, not math, the math, not mathing. That's
Yeah.
not no comparison for that.
Yeah.
She celebrated. She more was a celebration, right? It
Hmm.
wasn't no like sad moments for her. She showed up on the scene with a man. She showed up in her first episode talking about what kind of man she want. And when her kids threw off, like, wait a minute, our stepdaddy just left from over here. Like, what's going on? Like, no, that's not how you grieve. You grieve behind the scenes and you care. Don't put your kids involved at such a young age with what type of man you supposed to want. Like they supposed to know. We want you to have a nurturing man, a loving man. What are they gonna say to you? That's what lets us know that you mentally not
Right.
not only not all the way there, but not mature enough to have a decent conversation with your children. Make it make sense. And I don't care what anybody used today about what I said and try to use against me, because it probably will be. I don't care. Today I don't care.
Right.
2 weeks ago I might have would have, but now I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I would never done half of the things that she has done as a mother. So make
Yeah.
that make sense. I've always put my son emotional needs, mental needs, all of the above first before my own. That's what a mother does. And even if that takes for you to go in the house and have quiet time to yourself as a parent and not have anybody around, any male company, you to be lonely, then that's what it takes. If that's helping your children, you're trying to have your children have healthy relationships in the future. But how are you going to help them do that if you're continuing to not show them anything healthy? You're not showing them how to heal properly. That's why I had to take myself out of my feelings and show my son how to grieve properly. Even if I have to do it behind closed doors when I am hurting and crying. I don't want him to see me like that all the time. I want him to see me strong too.
Yeah.
I'm actually
She's not breaking any type of generational curse. She's repeating them.
absolutely, and she's
And then
making
her
it work
kids are gonna repeat hers because it always the universe always sends back
right back.
what it is. And just like my father came back and
Mhm.
my husband, my ex-husband, I I defeated that because I'm not in that no more. So I was strong enough and able to leave him. Rather, my mother wasn't able to leave my father. And several other family members, they was not able to leave the abusive, you know.
You broke the cycle, not only being strong enough to notice the signs right away. Yes, you was married. Your mother was married. But you didn't allow it to continue to go on to it just took you out. You
Yeah.
decided right away early on, okay, that's not right. Even though you wanted it to be right, you still didn't allow that to just you get used to that role and you say, okay, this is my husband. It is what it is. We have good days, we have bad days. No, you said, I love myself. Now, that's one of the things I want everybody to take from this. She said she loved herself. She loved looking at herself in the mirror. She loved her kids. She loved the life she's built for herself. She loves outside of him, herself. Key word. You have to always, when it comes to these type of situations, domestic violence, men or women, put yourself first.
First, always.
And I want
Always.
and I wanted to lighten the mood up from the serious discussion and joke about like Anya and stuff. I don't want you to ever think I'm entwining the two in a sense to where this is a joking matter. This is absolutely not a joking matter. I just thought, maybe we can end it off on a laughing note.
Yeah.
But Miranda, you
People
have any?
can't be so sensitive. In this my life. So
Yeah,
I can laugh if I'm laughing, then I don't care about nobody else laughing. It happened to me.
I
So
appreciate that.
I'm not taking no offense to it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, because I know it's you gotta laugh through it in order to get through it.
Hmm.
Laughing is healing. So, you know,
And my
everybody just need to love themselves first. Put yourself first. Women need to know that don't worry about him. He's a grown man. He'll figure it out. He ain't got nowhere to go. Oh well.
and if he not trying to heal, key word, if he wasn't trying to heal that childhood trauma, I'm sure you suggested therapy for him,
Yeah, we went and did all that. I
and it
didn't
didn't
even
work.
get into all that, but we went and did counseling, and he told me he needed it.
See, so he did try to take the steps, but he wasn't doing the tools, or he was trauma bonding her. So, you know what, you guys, he this what he did to her, and I can see this. He went to therapy because he knew that she wasn't gonna play that. He had to fool her to think that he wanted the help. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Yeah.
he's showing you, I'm trying, but deep down in his mind, he felt like nothing was wrong with what he was doing. He was okay. But when it
Yeah.
came to push the shove, he could tell you, this is wrong. I'm sorry. I know it's not right. I won't do it again. But he keeps doing it again.
Yeah.
So just look for those signs. Sometimes a man will try to flip like everything good, just like when they try to bring you roses when your face all cut up and bruised and you battered and you in the house and your family can't see you and everybody calling to check on you. But here he come washing through the door with a bouquet of beautiful flowers or your favorite chocolate or a teddy bear or anything that symbols love, when the night before last he didn't show you love.
Yeah.
So just be aware of those signs, and we're gonna have a part 2 Friday. I would love for you guys to come up to the panel, and if you feel like it, sharing your stories. If not, we can still, share certain things with you. Share the afterlife of Miranda getting out, and Miranda, believe it or not, and I don't know if you guys listened on the first few sessions of me and her coming to the panel first few times. Miranda is a good therapist. She actually helped me out a lot more than she knows. The
Yeah.
stuff that I was hurt about my sister, she made me laugh about it, because it is funny to look back over that now. And like she said, when you can laugh, you're healing. So that
Yeah.
lets
It
me know
heals you
that,
every time.
yeah,
Tears, tears are healing. Every time you cry, you become a better person. You're cleansing
absolutely.
yourself.
And you're going to have days, good and bad. That's normal. You're human.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a day-to-day process. And if you don't put the work in, or your spouse or partner is not willing to put that work in, and be committed to change. And I don't mean somebody that's ripping you apart. They're not going to change. I mean
Nope.
somebody that maybe you both are verbally abusive, and it's not to the worst extent of, I don't even know where to go with that.
And that's not love, like cussing each other out. Cause I
No, it's
know for
not.
me, if I call my man or somebody I'm dating out of his name, I can't lay down
But
with
the
him.
only reason why I glazed over that a little bit, because I know that Mr. LaTruth admitted he said some things to lie on you. But like I always said, that's all he could use. She verbally and physically put her hands on this man. So, like he said, if I could take back some words, I would. At least he was honest about that. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't think that he would have ever been that type of person. Sometimes
No, some
people
people
bring
bring
those
that
things
out of
out
you.
of you. Absolutely.
Cause I'm totally different with somebody else. Like I would never call a man that I was dating out of their name, but I'll call my kid's father out of his name,
Mm-hmm.
because they are two different type of men,
Facts.
and they give me different things. So once I disrespect you, I don't, it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Is you don't get the respect back. So I
Facts.
don't understand, like, when people are in a relationship and they calling each other out of their name, they cussing each other out, and they being toxic like that. I don't see how people do that. because that's not what love is.
It's not. So if you with a partner, and that's even if that's all they do, sometimes verbal can be worse as physical.
Verbal is way worse because it stays longer.
Cause it
A
messes,
bruise can go away though.
yep, and it messes with your self-esteem. Always in
Yeah.
the back of your mind, you're gonna think you a oompa loompa or whatever they call you.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I appreciate you guys for coming, joining the live with us. I appreciate my guest Miranda for being so open and putting yourself in a vulnerable space to help others. I really genuinely appreciate that. And
Anytime.
I appreciate you all for listening and sharing the live and liking the live as well. The more you share the live, the more it can reach someone else that possibly needs to hear this. That's when I say share, that's what I mean. So I will be speaking with each and every one of you Friday. We'll set up a time. We haven't put a time in exact to stick to it yet, but I'll let you guys know in advance. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Have a good night. Bye for now. Well, have a good day. My bad, y'all. Bye.